And then the images of my world explained by the dry voice of the Shahre Farang man, a world that I have to keep and where maybe will not happen what has happened to Darius, the king of Persia, a world I will discover later. Inside the Shahr Farang, the hands of a man and a child make some paintings inside the box in a kind of dream world. I remember days so bright, sunny and hot. To see something inside the Shahr Farang, you had to make a shield with your one hand to protect the eyes against the sun. Then you push your nose to the hot metal of the box. With the other hand, you have to form some kind of lens to look inside. Then you wait until more children show up crowding around the Shahre Farang and waiting until the story starts. Finally, the Shahr Farang man, he puts his hand into the box and opens the window with the magic touch. Then you watch through some badly grinded glass inside the box, and the images inside are looking as if they are placed behind some kind of crystal wall. It is really magic. I remember the world of toys, the deep insight in a world of miniature with magic cars that could drive and fling. I remember the doll of my sister. It could cry, eat, and laugh. Somehow everything was possible, as long as the adults weren't demanding that we play their game. The idea of a magic life in a paradise was shaped through my visual impressions of the Persian carpets that covered all the floors. I used them also when playing cars driving down the roads with funny geometrical signs. The Shahre Farang was from the same magic world that I visited daily, hearing the old stories again and again, creating a continuity within this second life. I can't remember the face of the man. Somehow he didn't exist, or at least he wasn't real. Only his voice I still hear in the dust of streets and crossroads. Fantastic how he was able to make things happen. Just he needed to put his hand into the box and immediately his voice became the voice of a big artist who could quote poetry and tell stories like nobody else. He didn't need to look at the images, he just knew what he was talking about. I remember a story about an unhappy king and his wife who were in the need to save their daughter from some serious threat. The king was waiting of a miracle for a brave man or a prince. Some tree surrounded the place where the Shahre Farang man used to stop for his performance. It was not far from a beautiful mountain with a small lake. I see some ducks in the sky just right about the lake. Some clouds, this kind of very soft ones, which make the sky even more blue. The buildings inside the box was actually the Shahr Farang itself, painted on some canvas and far from being correct in perspective and proportions. It is similar to the stage design of a street theater. Then the story started. The figures on the canvas inside the box seemed to look into the different directions. It seemed to me that each one was looking for something else, like people on a bus station that wait for different buses to go into different directions. The king was fat and small. Even without his crown and scepter, one could see that he was the boss. Dressed like a caliph, it seemed that he just arrived from his morning ceremonial. His wife, or better, the queen, was a bad dancer and a very beautiful woman who didn't match the king at all. I am sure if the king's bus would ever arrive, she would get on it, but a different one. She was taller than him. She stood a step closer to me and also exactly in the middle of screen. I can imagine the painter developed some romantic feelings while painting her, and maybe he even fell in love with her. Or the queen was just a remake of an ordinary woman that the painter used to know and dreamt of. On the king's court, I could fix other women around. It was strange because the king was meant to have a huge harem with all beautiful women from the entire world, but his unsexiness was the sexiness of the queen, so this was made clear even without additional women. She was also the more political person who had made the rules in the play and who knew everybody around the scene. I had the feeling she could move her head to control and observe the others around her.